we're going to be working on some tree flowers, which I really love, and we're going to do some cherry blossoms. I'm going to set us up here. We're using multi-surface paint, and so it's folk art multi-surface. It goes indoor, outdoor. It's got a sealer in it, fluffing, luscious colors. This is magenta. We're using magenta, yellow ochre, burnt umber, wicker white, medium gray is some floating medium. The floating medium's the fluff that's inside the pigment. And then I'm using my one stroke brushes. All right. So these are right on my website if you're interested in picking any up. I just want you to know that. And we're going to get started. All right. So I'm on gray art paper. Okay. And this is heavy duty. So it won't wrinkle up. You might see occasionally I used art paper that was thinner and I didn't know how bad it was going to wrinkle. So this is gray tone. We sell this too, and it's a 9 by 12 sheet. There's 15 of them, but this is the key. It's 184 pounds. 184 pounds. Okay. So which means it's not going to warp up. It's perfect for matting and framing or just framing. All right. So I'm going to work with the background just being the gray. I was going to slap a gray and white background, but sometimes I like to just come on and use some art paper. Okay. So I'm going to come in here. I've dampened my brush. I wet it on a paper towel. I'm going to pick up some medium gray and white with a 16 flat. All right. This is a 16 flat. All right. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit more medium. All right, so what's going to happen is I want a branch, and I want this branch to come up. I started kind of flat down here. I'm going to keep picking up paint, and I'm going to be up on the chisel. Okay, and I'm going to pick up a little bit more. And so right here, I can split this chisel, and I'm going to have it kind of go off again. All right. So you just want to see a little bit of movement there. And then I'm going to pick up some more and come across here, pick up medium, burn umber. All right, so little twigs coming off here. Look, so you come down and work it up, which is the branch coming off of the main tree branch. Okay. So it's all about just getting a little bit of fun branches. We're coming down here to add all of our pretty blossoms to. I just love picking up, I'm seeing what's happening when all the leaves fall off and the blossoms start blooming. All right. And I was just in Atlanta and it was being tricked by the season. Different things have been happening. So that made it kind of, why are they being forced to bloom right now? All right, so they have all the buds coming out. The tree leaves have coming off. All right, so I'm going to do a few of these where they're in the background. If it was in the background, some of the things I do is I flip it and have the magenta going outwards because it's like in the background, and then the white blooms on top. I also have some buds. All right. So we're just doing a few little buds like this. All right. And then when we attach them with little branches, it makes it look good too. You can also, you might have seen me do a couple of times where I'm just doing this. There's a little bit of glare there. All right. So a little bit of this, which gives you the illusion, by the way, oh, there were some blossoms back there, but they're out of focus because they're in the background. I'm just doing that there because my finger touched it with brown. All right. So this kind of helps. Just back in here. Okay, just a little bit in the very background. So slip, slap, slip, slap. Okay, so I can get some medium and do that too. I'll go this as I had to put that there. I'll just put a little bit of this in here. Just an illusion in the background. That sound okay? And so I don't have to do fine detail there, but I am going to do some of this back here. Just an illusion, okay? I did one project kind of like this with a blue background, I think this last year. All right, but I wanted to take some time slowly and kind of show this to you. All right, so let's put a little bit, let's get a little bit more. I'm sorry, I don't think I told you, a 12 flat. Okay, and I'm gonna come here, make a couple buds here and there. All right. And then putting some darker magenta in the background of this. Oops, I meant to have it the dark on the outside. Actually, let's just make it like that because that'll be a little bit of a darker bloom in the background. All right. And I know if I'm looking at a picture, I'm just doing what nature did, but having a triangle makes it look good too. So like I know that might not be exactly how it is on the lamb, but for in your picture and your photograph, but to do this like this will give you a nicer layout on your painting. Okay. So I'm going to dip some white again. As you can see, I put way too much paint out. So some of these you're going to work, work, work. If you're in your double loader, that helps you too. So that I get a pale pink. All right. So I'm going to come right here and see how we have a little, that looks like it's going to be in front. All right, let's get some more pink. I mean, white. All right, so I get some more white and see how that pink in the background works on this. All right, and then I'll come put the centers in there. All right, let's do a little bit here. This is kind of like a side view, right? Okay, what's going to finish this off is putting the centers in. All right. I'm going to pick up magenta and come over here and get my white. I should have put some white over by the magenta. All right, so I'm going to come right back here. Pick up some more white. You can see I got a little bit of pink in there too, right? And right here, this is going to be a side view. See, so, or maybe, look, this could be the underneath view. All right, so you can see from underneath there. All right, so I'm going to come right in here with more magenta. Okay. So look, push the magenta edge. All right, so we want this to look like we're just going to do the pop a little edge here. And I can put a little bit more magenta in the middle with the corner of the brush. Okay. All right. So that looks like it's looking straight at us. I'm gonna come down here and do just some more pink in here. She added a faint back there. Okay. All right, I'm gonna come in here and get more magenta. There we go. All right, so the petals that are gonna go on the very top, we want to have a lot more white. So I'm wiping off a lot of the pink, and then I'm gonna work in the white. So we have a tinge of pink, but pure white. Okay, so right in here, a bit more white. Yeah, how bright white that looks. Okay. And then right here on top, more white. Okay. Lots of white. And we're going to do the same thing over here. We'll just do a nice, pretty white one. All right. That one's kind of looking like it's going straight at me. See how the white, heavier white on the edges makes a difference. Whiter here. Go ahead and come back and get a real strong white. And a little bit more on here, I think. All right. Okay, so some of what happens now, we're going to take the smaller brushes, like an 8 or I've got one out here. Let's see if this one's good enough. All right, a 6 or an 8, I guess this one's an 8. All right, so what you're going to do is we're going to get a little bit of the burr number here. You can touch a little bit of white too. All right, so right in here, we're going to come and pick up these buds. All right, let's turn it around so we have some of the burnt umber touching there. All right. All right here, the bottom of this flower underneath. Right here. You can do a script liner, but this holds more paint. All right, see this branch since it's showing through. So I'm going to come right here. Because it looks like there's some floating medium, so it moves easier, guys. All right, so that showed underneath pretty bad, so I went ahead and showed it on top. Okay. All right, what I do have, I'm going to put a very little touch of green, teeny bit of green here with the yellow ochre. So with the same brush, I'm going to pick up yellow ochre, maybe some little gray in here. So what it shows is a little bit of some color here, which just means maybe all the leaves aren't totally gone. A little bit. And so we're just getting a little bit of color. Just a little bit. All right, not to be much. All right. All right, so let's look at let's take a 6 flat, something really smaller. All right. So what I want to do is I want to just come in with the magenta and I want to put heavier right in the center of this flower. Right, this one, a little teeny bit, flatten the brush. A little bit in here. Can you see how it gets a little dark in there? Back there, we won't show a flower, but right here, we want to show the center with the stamens. See how I get a little bit of that dark in there? A little bit dark here. You can even get like a touch of berry wine or something. Just give you a little bit of color. I am going to get a little berry wine because we need a teeny bit of depth. You can put Juneberry. There's some other colors you could put there. All right, so let's put a 2 flat. Okay, so see, I want to put a teeny bit of that. Now we get some depth in there. See how that richens it, just having a little bit of deep. And also from that, I want to get a little bit of this, but I could pull some of the stamens up from that thick paint. I'll put some little white ones there. I hope you guys are having a good morning. It's a good way to start the morning today. And I know around the world, there's all kinds of different temperature. Like we got 18 inches of snow in some areas and tons of rain, storms in other areas of the US. So anyway, just some little stamens, but those aren't showing as well as some white ones I'm going to put out here. So I got a little bit of water. You're going to roll this, guys, and put a little bit of the wicker white. I'm going to touch and pull little teeny stamens. All right, so we're going to just little bits up here. Sometimes you want thicker paint, and sometimes you want an inky. Do this. They don't have to be perfect. I'm just going to put a little bit of white and yellow on those. So it's usually better to pull out. Okay. And I can put just a couple that come out from somewhere like that, you know, just from little areas like we did this. All right. And then we come in with some yellow and white, guys. Okay, over here, look. It just makes it more delicate. This one's looking straight at you. You see that? This one's kind of upward. Put a little bit of white with it. You can use a kiss tool too. A little. See this kiss tool, it looks like a candy kiss. Okay. So see how elegant that makes it? And then I'm just going to, one of the things that I think would look nice too is with take floating medium and just did a little bit of white. And this dries, it'll give you a little bit of an illusion. Just a little bit. All right, so people always love little blossoms. So think about painting some also greeting cards. Just that little cluster on a greeting card would be beautiful. So think about that when you're creating layering flowers is really fun. Using some art paper, you can go get pre-made greeting cards with a pretty background and just paint some blossoms on it. Put a butterfly or so on it, and there you go. Please subscribe and ring the bell so you know when I'm having my lives. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.